we have not only a constitutional crisis, because our congressional leadership fails to understand why they were given that leadership role. It was to stop the fundamental transformation of America, not to facilitate it. And we have a national security crisis. When the President of the United States is not interested in America leading or American winning, then you understand that the greatest threat to our national security resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I gotta tell you, never in my lifetime did I believe I would witness this great country being taken down and withdrawn from our world leadership role by our own administration. And let me say, you know, one of the first things you do when you want to take a country down is weaken its military. And that's why sequestration was the perfect storm for the Obama administration. It provided the legal basis for the unilateral disarmament of our military. And the Obama administration has great difficulty in identifying the threat. But it was Erdogan, the Prime Minister of Turkey, who said it best. Islam is Islam. There are no modifiers. Democracy is the train we ride to our ultimate objective, which is imposing Islam, Sharia law throughout the world and replacing our Constitution with Sharia law. What else needs to be said? Well, here we go. I've got to say, we cannot let this stand. We have to take up and challenge everything by this administration. You know, for those of you who say the Obama administration has no policy, let me tell you, you're all wrong. They have a policy, and they've been executing it brilliantly with the complicity of our congressional leadership and the mainstream media. And let me tell you, any thinking American can grasp it. It's anti-American, anti-Western, but pro-Islam, pro-Iranian, and pro-Muslim Brotherhood. Now, I have to ask, why would an American president embrace the Muslim Brotherhood when their creed is to destroy America from within by our own miserable hands and replace our Constitution with Sharia law? It makes absolutely no sense. And here's a group that's been able to penetrate all our national security agencies, our intelligence agencies, have had a massive impact on our rules of engagement, our foreign policy. This has got to stop. I almost got the hook. Let me just touch on Benghazi and the pathological liar. Two things you need to take away from Benghazi. We switched sides in our global war on terrorism. We facilitated or actually on the Al-Qaeda militia and the Brotherhood militia. And I have to tell you, we had resources that could have responded. And particularly, the Commander's Extremist Force were 50 special ops forces that were in Croatia, had their own plane, the props were spinning. They could have been in Benghazi in 2 hours. No orders came, but to stand down. This is atrocious. And the same thing before all of that. Gaddafi wanted to advocate. Truce negotiations were ongoing. And again, our illustrious Secretary of State shut it down. What more do you need? All of our senior leadership at the time, Panetta, Petraeus, Ham, and let's not forget Dempsey. They all lied before a congressional committee. They must be held responsible. Those are felonies. You go to jail for 15 years. Those forces never had to be sacrificed. We could have saved at least half of them. But we have to hold them accountable.
Thank you, Sanford. Let me just say that, you know, with everything you've heard negative, our military personnel remains our national treasure. Even with all the debilitating impact and effects of sequestration, the administration was not able to kill the warrior mentality. But the administration went to work on that with their social engineering. And I got to tell you, it's had a devastating impact. The first was the removal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Ash Carter thinks that was a tremendous success. But let me tell you, in 2014, there were 10,000 reported men-on-men incidents. And that's only the reported ones. And if the Secretary of Defense thinks that's a success, I'd hate like hell to see what he thinks is a failure.
Admiral, thank you very much. Not a question, but an extended comment.
Franklin, one other thing. Cut me off.
I try. God knows I try.
Let me tell you, you might ask, where is our military leadership? Being fired. They have been emasculated. And political correctness has nullified. They forgot about their oath of office. And one other thing, as long as I got the mic. You know, there are many viable roles for women in the military. Now let me tell you, combat is not one of them.
Thank you, Admiral. We have to move along, I'm afraid. Thank you so very much.